Hello, I'm Jan Czerwiński and this is Military Mind. Armed conflicts, defense and security, land, sea and air. We've got you covered. Overnight, on the 7th of November, Russian forces launched 128 attack drones at Ukraine, according to the Air Force Command of the Armed Forces. Officials reported 31 drone impacts across 11 locations. Odessa's energy infrastructure was hit in the overnight assault. Local authorities confirmed damage to warehouses and an administrative building, but no casualties were reported. In Kharkiv, fires broke out at a postal facility, a car repair station, and an educational institution following the Russian attacks. Meanwhile, Belgium was forced to temporarily halt operations at its airports after another drone sighting on Friday. Air traffic control confirmed the drone had been spotted over Liège airport, the country's largest cargo hub and one of the biggest in Europe, according to Belga news agency. It followed a similar suspension at Brussels airport a day earlier after drone activity was detected. Now, on Tuesday, both Brussels and Liège airports closed for several hours, following multiple drone sightings with flights diverted or grounded. Local media also reported drone sightings in other parts of the country, including near a military base. Late on the 6th of November, a drone was also sighted in Sweden, near the Landvetter airport outside Gothenburg, according to Aftonbladet, citing the Civil Aviation Administration. A representative of the airport confirmed that the airspace was temporarily closed, with flights diverted to alternate airports. Now, air traffic resumed a few hours later as police launched an investigation into the incident. Now, coming back to Ukraine, of course, we still don't know who launched these drones in theory, but there are strong suspicions that these might have been Russian drones. But we're coming back to Ukraine now, and on the front line, according to data from the monitoring project DeepState, nearly the entire city of Pokrovsk has now turned into what is known as a gray zone. Russian forces are reportedly attempting to disrupt Ukrainian logistics through remote mining operations around the city. Ukrainian military analysts also note the entry of Russian military vehicles into Pokrovsk, a sign of improving Russian logistical coordination in the area. Michael Kaufman, a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, attributes the growing Russian buildup in Pokrovsk to poor weather conditions limiting drone operations and the Ukrainian army's shortage of operational reserves. According to Kaufman, Russian troops are setting up drone-operated positions within the city, expanding both the gray zone and their fire control over supply routes. He warns that the scale of Russian infiltration could overwhelm Ukrainian reinforcements and special units sent to stabilize the situation. However, he also notes that Ukrainian forces might retreat to pre-prepared defensive lines if necessary. Kaufman assesses that while the loss of Pokrovsk would allow Russian forces to widen their offensive corridor towards Slovyansk-Kramatorsk agglomeration, it would not guarantee a rapid breakthrough, meaning the strategic impact of losing the city should not be overstated. The Gostry Kartusy unit has released footage showing new tactics used by Russian troops. Specifically, they are using FPV drones for the purpose of remote mining the logistical routes used by the Ukrainian forces. According to the soldiers, Russian troops are actively using TM-72 anti-tank mines, dropping them directly onto roads or roadsides where Ukrainian equipment is moving. This is aimed at complicating the delivery of ammunition and the evacuation of the wounded in the combat zone. The unit commander said that one of the munitions was planted just half an hour before he went out to check the route. This indicates the high activity of enemy FPV operators and their attempt to keep Ukrainian supply routes under constant control.
Картузів. Зараз покажу я вам гадості, які повсюду скидують з неба разом із FPV-шками. Дивіться, це ПТМ-ка, така маленька протитанкова міна 5-кілограмова. Це перша, тут валялась друга, її розстріляли, бачите, вона не вибухає, нажимної дії. Вон зверху такий датчик стоїть. Тільки наїжджає на неї якась техніка і вона вибухає. Йдемо невеличкою ділянкою і от спостерігаємо Дивіться, оце от прилетіло зовсім недавно. От бачите, ніхто до неї ще не підходив, близько не розстрілював, не знешкоджував через те, що вона впала поряд з дорогою. От просто FPV-шка, 8-ка, до неї прив'язали ПТМ-ку, десь отут впали, і от вона залетіла на узбіччя. Йдемо далі. Знову бачимо FPV-шку, тільки її вже постріляли. Бачите, вона вже розбита. А от і наступна ПТМ-ка. Дивіться, от чорна дорога. Прямо на дорогу скидають міни. Це от бачите, після розстрілу з неї висипається тротил. Вона пофарбована в чорний колір. Розрахована на те, щоб впасти на дорогу і потім лежати тут непомітною, чекати, поки на неї не їде якийсь транспорт. Ще одна FPV-ха валяється. Зараз якийсь подаруночок, мабуть, знайдемо ще від неї. І от ще одна чергова малишка ПТМ-очка. Ця була сьогодні тільки покладена. Ми її знайшли близько півгодини тому. І перед заїздом нашого транспорту ми завжди перевіряємо дорогу. І от її знайшли, розстріляли. Бачите, розсипався тротил. Вона чорна. І її дуже важко помітити.
Now, we're moving on to our next story. Recently, Ukrainian Special Operations Forces carried out a precision strike on a warehouse and training center for Russian Shahed kamikaze drones on the grounds of the former Donetsk airport. According to confirmed reports, the powerful explosion caused the detonation of ammunition. The strike was the result of a joint operation by the Special Operations Forces, Unmanned Systems Forces, and artillery units. The destruction of the Shahed warehouse is another step in a series of asymmetric strikes, with which Ukrainian defense forces are consistently disrupting the enemy's plans and deterring Russian aggression even deep within the occupied territories. Now, scouts have destroyed Russia's Triumph missile system, along with other high-value air defense equipment in Crimea. We're going to Crimea again because, well, the Russian forces there have a tendency of losing very expensive gear to the Ukrainian strikes. The main intelligence directorate of Ukraine has released exclusive video of the strike on the command post of the S-400 Triumph anti-aircraft missile division, which was in a combat-ready position. Also hit were the Russian 9-2N6E multifunctional radar and the equipment powering the S-400 command post's autonomous power system. On the night of the 2nd of November, reconnaissance units also successfully targeted the AORL-1AS airfield surveillance radar and the P-18 Terek radar, both used by the Russian occupation forces. And with this, we're concluding this edition of Military Mind. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.